Move on. The Red Sox advance to the American League Division Series against Tampa Bay, and they eliminate the New York Yankees with a 6-2 win, and they're mobbing each other by the pitcher's mound.
Sounded on WEEI Red Sox radio there. So the Yankees get eliminated by their arch rivals, the Boston Red Sox, Tuesday night in the American League wildcard game. And I've been thinking a lot about this. The Yankees, who came into the year with the highest win total projection in the American League, to me, it's not about just losing that game on Tuesday. It's about why were they in this game in the first place? Why was the team with a payroll of $207 million, why were they in a one-game playoff with a Red Sox team that was thought to not have been a playoff team in 2021? And the answer is simple. The Yankees think they are a lot better than they actually are. They have an organizational arrogance problem. They think they've accomplished a lot when in reality, this core has regressed every year since 2017, since Joe Girardi led a team that had no business making the playoffs that year to Game 7 of the ALCS against the Astros. The team hasn't come close to that point since. They've been beaten by rivals each year. 2018, the Red Sox with a totally different core pounced them in 4 games. 2019, they get punked by the Astros again in 6 games. Last year, get beat by the Rays with a third of the payroll that the Yankees have. This year, don't even make it to a series and get beat by the Red Sox again. The Yankees have an organizational arrogance problem. Listen to the way they talk. This was Aaron Boone. The Yankee manager, after the Yankees lost a one-game playoff to a Red Sox team that had no business, based on everyone's account, even making the playoffs in the first place in 2021.
The league's closed the gap on us. We got to get better. We got to get, better in every aspect, at just getting a little bit better, because it's not just the Red Sox and the Astros now in our league. Look at our division. The Rays are a beast, the Toronto, and, there's some teams in the Central that are getting better and better, teams in the West that are better and better, teams that have closed the gap on us. And, that needs to be, front and center as guys prepare.
The gap. What gap? The league's closed the gap on us. What gap is Aaron Boone referring to? This exemplifies the issues that the Yankees have. They think they're better than they actually are. This team has regressed. Right now, if the Yankees run it back with this core, they are a 4th-place team in their own division. Boston's better. The Rays are better. The Blue Jays are better. The Yankees need to have wholesale changes to their roster. They need to change how they perceive themselves and realize that you're not that good. The Yankees were 19th in runs scored this year. You think of the Yankees, you think of Judge and Stanton, and those guys had phenomenal seasons. They're the only reason why the Yankees even made the playoffs. But outside of that, who else in this lineup is a must-have? A guy that you need to pencil in and you know what you're getting. Gleyber Torres? No. DJ LeMahieu? No. Hopefully he's just bad this year because of the hernia issue and not because he's regressed that much. Gio Urshela? No. Luke Voigt? No. Joey Gallo? No. Up and down this lineup, there are so many issues. And what's crazy about the Yankees this year, if I told you their pitching would be as well as it was in the regular season, Judge and Stanton would have monster years. If I told you before the year, well, how many wins would that team have won? You probably would have told me the Yankees had over 100 wins and ran away with the AL East. And it was everything but. I don't think Aaron Boone is the biggest problem for this team. But if they don't renew his contract because it's up in about 20 days from now, I can't sit here and say it's the wrong move. I don't blame Boone for everything. I blame Brian Cashman for more so putting this team together, thinking this team is so good. The Yankees need to get more athletic. They need to get better defensively. They need to totally overhaul this lineup. There are two guys in this lineup that are sure things. You cannot bring back Gary Sanchez. Pitchers don't want to throw to him. I don't care if he runs into a home run every once in a while. If that guy can't play in a one-game playoff, that's a problem. Luke Voigt can't stay on the field. He's got to go. Joey Gallo, I just don't think he's built to handle New York. He's got to go. They need to get more athletic, add more speed, improve their defense. Aaron Judge only had 100 RBIs this year because nobody's on base when he's hitting home runs. This team only hits solo home runs. They're too station to station. They have to overhaul how they put this lineup together. This is not like 2018 or 2019 when you played a team that you could look at and say, you know what, we're pretty close. The margin, as Aaron Boone would put it, is razor thin. Yankees aren't close to those teams I just mentioned. They're not close to the Rays. They're not close to the Astros. They're not even close to the Dodgers. I mean, the Yankees are supposed to be the Dodgers. The Dodgers are everything the Yankees think they are. Team with a high payroll, but with parts that fit. Like, look at the gritty at-bats the Dodgers could put together. Yeah, they got their stars. Obviously, they got Mookie Betts. They got Corey Seager. They got a bunch of dudes. We know that. But the Dodgers are a team. The Yankees are too station to station, man. They can only score in one way, and that's hitting a home run. Notice, one of their runs in the wild card game, a Rizzo solo shot. It's not going to get it done. The Astros put the ball in play. Yesterday, they scored 9 runs. Only one home run in their game to score 9 runs. It's hard to hit home runs in the playoffs. The Yankees have seen it up close, but this year, it carried over into the regular season. This core has regressed. They got to do something. They got to change up the tenor of the team. They cannot run it back and just say, oh, you know, we had a bad year. Guys will bounce back. When I hear Aaron Boone talk about how we need to get better, we need to, use the offseason to improve. No, your team is capped out. Your team has hit its ceiling. There needs to be wholesale changes. You need to sign a Carlos Correa or a Corey Seager or a Trevor Story. Or if you don't do that, you need to trade for a Matt Olson. You want to bring back Anthony Rizzo? Sure, he's a lefty. He plays great first base. Then you got to trade Luke Voigt. Like, there needs to be wholesale changes here. This is not a one-off. The Yankees were bad in the 60-game season for most of it last year, got beat by the Rays in 5 games. You follow that up this year, and you can't even host the wild card game. It's one thing if the Rays are better. The Rays are amazing. I think they're the most well-run team in professional sports. But the fact that this game was played at Fenway is a testament to how lousy the season was for the Yankees. Even when they were winning, it wasn't fun if you're a Yankee fan. They won 13 games in a row. What do they do after that? They go 2-11. Oh, the Yankees go into Boston, sweep the Red Sox, take 2 out of 3 from Toronto. You're like, all right, well, maybe they're peaking at the right time. Lose the first 2 to the Rays, who are playing for nothing, and have to win 1-0 in the last day of the regular season just to avoid a game 163. This is the Yankees. They're the highest win total in the AL this year, supposedly. They need massive organizational changes. There is just an arrogance that they carry themselves with in that front office that they shouldn't. There needs to be significant changes here because what happened the other night, if you watch this team this year, it's not surprising. This year. And outside of 2 guys in that lineup, pretty much everyone underachieved this year. They go into the year all right-handed. So then Brian Cashman tries to fix it by adding Anthony Rizzo and Joey Gallo. It's not enough. It's not enough. This team has regressed. I don't want to hear Aaron Boone talk about the gap being closed. There is no gap. You've been pantsed by the Rays, the Astros, and the Red Sox the last 4 years. Aaron, before you got hired, the Yankees overachieved and went to Game 7 of the ALCS and then told the manager who actually won a World Series with the Yankees and Joe Girardi, we're moving on. We're making a change. So I don't blame Aaron Boone for the Yankees not winning this year. The roster is deeply flawed. But his comments there represent this arrogance that this organization carries themselves with, when in reality, the Kansas City Royals have won a World Series more recently than you have. All right? The New York Mets have been to the World Series more recently than you have. Like this idea that, oh, we're the Yankees and we're always going to be good and we know what we're doing. It's not working. And if this is not the ultimate wake-up call that they got to do something different in that organization, I don't know what will. Because there's just a lot of just anger from this fan base right now. Like, I don't know if you can bring Boone back. I don't blame him necessarily. But I don't know if you could bring him back. You might have to just throw the fan base a bone. Like, make him the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. But this problem is way bigger than just Aaron Boone. Any Yankee fan that says, oh, Boone's the problem, get rid of him, and it's all the team this year. Deeply flawed. And it starts at the top with Brian Cashman. I'm not saying fire Brian Cashman, but he's got to look himself in the mirror and recognize that there's got to be some major organizational changes here. You cannot run this back and think everything's normal. They have to make changes to this lineup. And stop punting on games in the regular season. Stop resting guys. Stop starting minor league pitchers against the Tigers in June thinking it doesn't matter. Stop getting beat by the Orioles. Treat the regular season seriously. Because if they did that, maybe they don't win the division this year, but they play that game at Yankee Stadium, and maybe the Yankees are still playing right now. The league's closed the gap on us. No, the Yankees need to close the gap on everyone else.
O'Reilly Auto Parts specializes